Good morning, I'm Clinton Griffiths. Two bills that could impact the entire cattle industry are now headed to the full Senate. The Senate Ag Committee giving its stamp of approval to the Meat and Poultry Special Investigator Act and the Cattle Price Discovery and Transparency Act. But it was not a unanimous vote, with Republican Senators John Boozman of Arkansas and Roger Marshall of Kansas casting no votes. Now, we've been following this legislation since it was first talked about. The Cattle Price Discovery and Transparency Act was introduced by farm state senators including Chuck Grassley of Iowa and Deb Fischer of Nebraska, Jon Tester of Montana, and Ron Wyden of Oregon. Now, they argue it will improve competition and ensure more fairness through robust price discovery and transparency. The Meat and Poultry Special Investigator Act would create a new USDA office dedicated to enforcing competition rules under the Packers and Stockyards Act.
Investments in genetics and breeding decisions and specialized marketing have brought real returns to ranch families that have chosen to take those steps. These investments have kept families ranching while producing high-quality beef demanded by consumers. If the incentive for those investments is taken away and the focus becomes producing the most pounds for the lowest cost, I think the industry, our ranch families, and our rural communities will all suffer. If we insert the federal government into day-to-day business decisions.
Over the past 2 years, we have witnessed voluntary industry efforts to increase negotiated trade. While there was some success, ultimately, by the industry's own standards, these voluntary efforts failed because of the packers' lack of participation. That brings us here today. We know more market transparency and price discovery are needed.
Now, Senator Grassley says he is confident the full Senate will have the votes to clear the two bills. He is hoping they come up for a vote after the July break. Now, the National Cattlemen's Beef Association issuing a statement shortly after the committee vote calling the mandate bills harmful, saying, quote, rather than embrace the freedom of that marketing system, Congress is instituting a one-size-fits-all policy that will hurt cattle producers' livelihoods. Cattle markets are finally returning to normal after pandemic-fueled uncertainty, but these heavy-handed mandates will stifle innovation and limit marketing opportunities, end quote. Now, the North American Meat Institute also commenting here, saying that last week, one cattle marketing analyst described the high prices in the cattle market right now as stratospheric, and that the beef and cattle markets are continuing to behave predictably given supply and demand and do not need government mandates and intervention. Now, it supplied this graphic that it says shows prices for cattle rose to 7-year highs last year. It says this year prices are 17.5% above last year.